We enter into contracts every day. According to a study by Nielsen, the average consumer visits at least 90 unique websites per year. Each of those websites is governed by a contract that may be legally binding on the consumer. And it's not just websites, it's web services, financial products. Virtually everything we use or buy is governed by a contract. And let's be honest, we don't read these contracts. And we don't want to read these contracts. We surveyed 80 non-attorney consumers and found that 49% would rather gouge their own eyes out than read a consumer contract. We have no idea what's in these contracts, and we sign them anyways. And for the most part, the world goes on because many of these contracts are pretty fair. But sometimes they're downright awful. Remember when Equifax experienced that huge data breach in the United States in 2017? When they reached out to their customers, they buried in a contract that by letting Equifax help them solve the problem Equifax created for them, they had to promise that they wouldn't seek additional remedies from Equifax. Ouch, Equifax. So, how do you empower consumers to make educated decisions about the products and services they use, and at the same time, incentivize businesses to make their consumer contracts more fair? It's simple. You make the general fairness of a business's contracts public knowledge. Introducing LexLucid, an online platform where attorneys can review consumer contracts and grade them on a number of metrics that affect consumer fairness, enabling consumers to get a general sense of the overall fairness of a business's contracts without hiring a lawyer and without having to actually read those contracts. Our beta website, built entirely over the last 2 weeks, allows attorneys to create an account and provide their attorney registration credentials. I've already completed that process, so I can simply log in. Once an attorney is registered, they can easily grade a contract that's already on our system, or add a new contract to the system. As we develop the product, we'll allow attorneys to vote other reviews up or down so that the website can intelligently figure out which reviewers are trusted contributors and which ones are not. The most exciting part about LexLucid's offering is the ability for consumers and lawyers to access its features wherever they are on the web through a convenient browser extension, which you can download and test drive today on Chrome. If you are a registered attorney, the browser extension recognizes when you're at a website containing a consumer contract and invites you to add a review of that contract. If you are a consumer, the same browser extension can give you the overall fairness score of a contract, including a snapshot of the main points that lawyers think matter in that particular contract. So, how will the business model work? Our initial target market from a consumer standpoint will be politically engaged, left-leaning millennials who are distrustful of big businesses. This is a no-brainer for them. In terms of demand, 85% of survey respondents said they would use the LexLucid browser extension. And while we're not sure that charging consumers will be part of the model, we were delighted to find out that 38% of survey respondents were willing to pay at least $1 per month for it. Now, imagine we launched in the US at first, that the target market we discussed represents 2% of the population. Apply the 38% adoption rate suggested by our survey at $12 per year, and that works out to nearly $30 million in annual recurring revenue. But the best source of revenue will likely be from businesses, who will have opportunities to pay LexLucid for certification and review services designed to help them write fairer contracts and to be their champions when they succeed. In terms of cost structure, motivating attorneys and maintaining top-notch quality control are at the top of the list. We think attorneys will be motivated to participate as a means of giving back to the community and as a means of building their personal brands, the same way experts around the world contribute to sites like Wikipedia or Quora. We've conducted a competitive analysis, and while 2 companies appear to be playing near this space, no one is doing what we're doing. LexLucid, grading contracts for the greater good, because when the fairness of consumer contracts is public knowledge, consumers can make educated decisions, and businesses will be motivated to make their contracts fair.